Welcome to the Natural Fertility Shop and naturalfertilityinfo.com. My name is Elizabeth Willett, Senior Fertility Herbalist with the Natural Fertility Company. Today we're going to talk about combining fertility herbs with medications. We receive so many questions every week, in fact multiple daily sometimes, about can I take herbs with this medication? My doctor put me on this or that medication, can I take Vitex with it, or whatever herb, insert any number of herb names. So I thought I would come on and talk to you about that a little bit and give you whether or not you can and reasons for why, and a little bit more information about the difference between fertility herbs and fertility medications. So again, welcome everybody. Let's jump right in. So first and foremost, I have to share with you that I'm not a medical doctor or a pharmacist, and that we don't have a medical doctor or a pharmacist on staff. These are the people that you need to be going to ask questions about your medication. They are trained to understand, or to at least know where to go to find you the information about the medication you're taking. They may not know about herbs. Some of them may. A lot of older doctors and perhaps older pharmacists who've been doing this for a really long time and didn't get any of that training may not know. But a lot of times they at least have some knowledge of herbs. And anyway, they have most knowledge of medication. You should be going to them for questions about your medication. You should also be going to a trained natural health care practitioner or herbalist for questions about your herbs. That's what we know. That's what we're here to tell you. But as herbalists, especially herbalists with the Natural Fertility Company, we aren't your primary health care provider. And your primary health care provider is the person you need to be going to ask whether or not you can take your medication that they've put you on with an herb. So there are a lot of texts out there that talk about drug-herb interactions, and I use them and I trust them. But ultimately, it needs to be your primary healthcare provider, whether that person is medical or natural, who helps you know if you can combine them or not. That is, herbs and medications. The person who knows your overall health, not just your fertility health. The person who you can call or go in to see if you have a concern or a problem. The person who can evaluate what's working when you have success. That's the person you need to be going to ask whether you can combine a medication with a fertility herb. I know that a lot of doctors, I'm going to go back to this point, don't necessarily know a lot about herbs. But I trust and I know that new doctors coming out of medical school have had some training, albeit a little bit, not a lot, on natural therapies. My family personally, we see a doctor of osteopathy. She's a medically trained doctor who, after her name, has the abbreviation or the title DO, Doctor of Osteopathy. And she has had training in natural therapies, a variety of them. And she actually sometimes prescribes herbal tea to us. And she freely admits that. She uses a lot of different natural therapies for a variety of different reasons and for helping her patients heal. So there are newer doctors coming out that have a little bit of knowledge, or who might at least be willing to look into things for you, to talk with you through why you're interested in taking an herb, and maybe help you figure out if the medication or the herb one is better than the other. So if you have a doctor who is willing, that of course is a bonus, but if you don't have a doctor who's willing, you could consider finding one. You're entitled to finding a doctor who is open to your suggestions and your ideas. You're also entitled to do your research and take in information with you if you love your doctor, if they're helping you, if you want to stay with them, to help them learn about the herb that you're interested in. That is a huge piece. It's okay to do your research, print off an article or two and take them in to help them understand what Vitex is, for example, or what Tribulus does, or what this specific natural therapy that you're interested in is for. They should be open to learning that, or giving you at least a little bit of time to understand why you're interested in that natural therapy. Kind of my soapbox, my 2 cents, but you're entitled to do that research and take information into them. So, fertility herbs and fertility medications. Ultimately, we cannot suggest that you combine them unless your primary healthcare provider is guiding you in doing that. That is truly the end-all be-all of it. Because fertility herbs can have an action on the systems of the body that produce and regulate hormones, they shouldn't be combined with medications for fertility specifically, but oftentimes all medications or any medications, again, unless your healthcare provider is willing to guide you in the combination and monitor you while using them together. We can't we can't suggest that you combine them unless your healthcare provider is willing to entertain that or help you with that combination and monitor your use. That's the number one takeaway. But anyway, what's the difference between fertility herbs and medications? How do you know if you need a medication or if an herb can help? That's a really great conversation to have with your healthcare provider or an herbalist, but mostly there are cases where fertility medications might be better. Obviously, preparing for IVF or preparing for a specific fertility procedure is going to require some sort of medication because medications have a direct impact on hormones and fertility in a variety of ways. And by using medications, doctors can force the body to do what they want it to do at a specific time. For example, when you're going through IVF, they're wanting to make sure that you ovulate at a specific time in that process, or that you produce more than one egg, which is not or ovulate more than one egg, right? Which is not something we naturally do on our own. So most herbs for fertility do not contain hormones. Fertility medications contain synthetic hormones. Herbs are natural, they're plant parts. Sometimes you're getting a whole plant, roots, stems, leaves, flowers, seeds. Sometimes you're just getting a plant part, flowers alone, for example, flower essences. Most often, essential oils come from flowers, but that's not completely true because sometimes we get essential oils from leaves. Vitex, for example, is a berry. So when you take a Vitex liquid extract, that's made from just the berry. So sometimes it's a whole plant, other times it's just plant parts. Medications are made in a lab. They are man-made in all forms, right? Herbs take time to be effective. They rely on consistency of use over time. They're probably not going to be as effective for you if you take Dong Quai for example, Dong Quai every other day, as opposed to taking it daily. And typically they take quite a bit of time to be as effective as they can be for you. It's not always true. For example, there are some nervines and some other herbs that are pretty fast acting. I find personally that our product Uteracalm is really quick to act for me, and I'm grateful for that. But things like Vitex and herbs that support hormonal balance and distribution and communication in the body are going to take time to be effective. That's not true for medications. Medications act quickly. That's their point. They work well they work quickly whether you eat well or your lifestyle is healthy, which is not necessarily a good thing. And herbs really rely on your diet and your lifestyle and your overall health to be in a good place or optimal. Herbs work better when your diet is really good and your lifestyle is you're at least not super stressed or dealing with other issues. What else? Herbs help bring the body back to balance. They're helping the body do what it naturally knows how to do. Remind the body of what it naturally knows how to do. Medications are essentially forcing it to do what they want it to do or tricking it into doing something. Medications have a direct, certain, specific action on the body. Herbs are nourishing. They provide lots of nutrients, phytochemicals, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, as well as many other things depending upon the herb and what their action is. But medications essentially, like I said, trick the body. They're telling or forcing it into an action. Herbs are helping the body understand what it naturally knows how to do. What else? I'm just going back. Oh, I had a little bit of a note here. Many times the body will become confused when coming off of a medication. Think specifically like birth control or repeated use of Clomid. And the body may not remember the right way to function, what it knows how to do. And that's when herbs can come in handy for that rebalancing phase after you've stopped a medication. Like I said, herbs contain vital nutrients that our body requires to be healthy, that our cells require to function at their best. Medications don't. There aren't vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, antioxidants in medications. They don't come with those extras. And most herbs have little or no side effects. Medications often come with long lists. You've heard them on TV commercials and read them in magazines and seen them on the pamphlets you get from the pharmacy if you've ever been on a medication. The lists are extensive, and it often seems like the potential harm of a medication is probably worse than the benefit or the reason why you're taking the medication. But herbs truly often have little to no side effects. So with all of that, beyond the combination of herbs and medications, which we can't suggest to you, right? I've told you that, I have to reiterate that. Many herbs can be taken together, and many kits can be taken together. As much as we get asked about whether or not you can take herbs with specific medications, we get asked about whether or not you can take herb A with herb B or herb A with kit A. So I wanted to just touch on that a tiny bit. We get asked a lot about the cleanse. We sell a fertility cleanse. We suggest it as a foundational step for most people who come to us. It's not always the case, but for most people, we do suggest considering a fertility cleanse, or at least learning about it. Anything that any herb that supports hormonal balance or hormonal regulation, or supports the systems of the body that are instrumental in hormonal balance, is best started after completing a cleanse. They're not to be combined. The most common is Vitex. It really is. If you have not already begun taking Vitex and you're interested in doing a fertility cleanse, it's best to wait to start Vitex until after the cleanse has been completed. With that, any nutrient, any nutritional supplement or fertility superfood, maca and royal jelly come to mind as two very common ones, can be combined with a cleanse. These are things like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, superfoods like maca and royal jelly, just like I said, a multivitamin, an omega supplement. Anything that's nutritional and foundational can be combined with liver cleansing and any cleanse. It can be confusing for the body to take multiple fertility blends or herbal blends. These are things that have numbers of herbs in them. So, this would be a capsule or a tincture that's got a lot of herbs all in one. Super beneficial products, but if you're wanting to take more than a couple of these things, like if you're interested in 3 or 4 different herbal combination products, taking them all together can be super confusing for the body and may be more confusing than good. So it's important to reach out to an herbalist or your naturopath or a midwife or whomever you're working with that's skilled with herbs to know which combinations are best for you. So avoid combining multiple herbal combination products. Those are the terms we usually use. Many herbs can be combined though. Maca and Vitex, for example, are known to be complementary to each other. Many take maca, Vitex, and tribulus to support a healthy menstrual cycle and healthy ovulation. Vitex can be used with natural progesterone cream. If you're using prescription progesterone cream, you need to talk to your doctor because that's a prescription and it's man-made, right? We just went through all of that. If you're just jumping on now, go back and start the Periscope from the beginning. What else? Maca and royal jelly, the superfoods, can be taken with antioxidants, a multivitamin, CoQ10, other herbs, Vitex, for example, to support cellular health and egg health and help the body fight free radicals and all sorts of different things. And these are only a few combinations. I could go on for hours about all of the combinations of things and probably still miss many of them and probably still get questions from you. So if you're wondering the best combination for your needs, it's really important to do your research. Go to naturalfertilityinfo.com or your most trusted resource for herbal information. Learn all you can about that herb, what it's for, and then reach out to a natural health care provider to ask if you can combine it with something else. Or consider a fertility consultation. It's a fabulous way to work one-on-one with a fertility herbalist to share all that you can about your fertility health and your overall health, to learn a program, the best program for your needs. That's another way. So in closing, I need to say it, we cannot tell you if you can take an herb that we sell or promote with a medication you're on. You need to reach out to your primary healthcare provider to discuss this. If you're not sure that they'll know about that herb, like I mentioned at the beginning, do your research and take information to them. Find reputable sources. We feel we are one, naturalfertilityinfo.com, of course. and print off articles or take notes so that you can help educate your primary healthcare provider about why you're interested in a specific herb or natural therapy, specifically if you're on a medication. Yeah, that's the message I needed to get across. Thank you all. If you need to replay, please do, to get the gist of what this was about. And I'll be back next week with another topic for you all to learn something else about fertility health. Okay, have a great afternoon. Bye.